Hello, we are Tarini Jori, ASSI Spine Fellow from India.
I'm Dr. Namit, an orthopedic senior resident from India.
And my name is Vajiha. I'm an orthopedic reg from Royal Stoke University Hospital, England.
Welcome to the Expert Insight series, where we interview worldwide expert spine surgeons. Today, we have with us a renowned orthopedic spine surgeon from Mumbai, who's also the chairperson of the AO Spine Asia Pacific region. After completing his master's in orthopedic surgery in 1998, he gained expertise in the subspecialty of spine surgery by training in various centers across the globe. In the early part of his career, he has won several scholarships and awards from reputed societies like ISELS and SRS. He has authored several chapters in various textbooks of orthopedics and spine surgery. Not only is he an excellent academician, but is also actively involved in various research projects, mainly focusing on osteoporosis, tuberculosis, and spinal deformity. He has been an excellent mentor to many surgeons across the country, not only ensuring that they excel in this field, but they also master the art of work-life balance. A great surgeon, teacher, musician, cyclist, marathon runner, hiker, we welcome the rock star of Indian spine surgery, Dr. Nene. Good evening, sir. Thank you for accepting our
That's like a
invitation.
very generous introduction to a plain man.
No, sir. How are you today?
Very good. I cannot complain. I'm so excited to be with this young talent, and I'm already nervous.
So over to you, Namit.
So with that very short, I'd rather say, very short introduction, we can start our interview. So, sir, to begin with, could you share a bit about your roots and about your hometown?
So I'm a thoroughbred Bombay boy. So born and brought up and raised, and three generations from Bombay. So I consider this my home, and not only Bombay, but like South Bombay, a very colonial part of Bombay. And schooling, college, everything here. So all my friends have been here. And I come from a non-medical background. My both my parents were architects, and my brother is an architect. So I was just the black sheep in the family. And just to give you a little hint of how it went, I actually took up admission in chemical engineering after our HSC board exam. And then there was a change of heart in my family. My mom, who's been an influencer, was like, she just said, you're getting medical college, and it's so rare to get that seat. And there's just 4 medical colleges in Bombay, and there are 25 engineering colleges. Why don't you jump? So I jumped. And that's how the penny started rolling. So it's been a series of coincidences that has brought me here. But I must say that to be at the right place at the right time also is a huge thing that you come with.
So, yeah, and continuing on with your earlier days. So, where did you train and when did you complete your residency?
So medical school and post graduation both in Bombay University. I finished MS orthopedics in 1998. At that point, I took a leap of faith because at that time in 98, this is 25 years ago, our society was not so conducive for a startup guy to get into an orthopedic career. And most of my colleagues would jump and go to the West, ideally taking an MLE and going to North America, or some of them getting a post in UK. And that was a done thing because there were too many benefits. But I decided to stay on despite the opportunity. And the other thing that I did was that I decided to subspecialize. So literally in 98, there were like 5 people in India who were dedicated spinal surgeons, maybe 6. I mean, I can remember these names and I can count them on my fingers. And 2 years from then, I was the 7th, literally. Though I was like 20 years younger than the most of them. I took that decision to leave orthopedics, and you know how hard it is to leave orthopedics because it's really in your blood and it's in your bone. You want to drill screws and you want to have that bone dust in your eyes sometimes, and you want blood all over splattered. And you had to leave that and get into a more somber field with more level kind of a mentally a challenging field. But I took it up, and I think there are no regrets. So I took up spine surgery in Bombay under a very eminent mentor, Dr. Shekhar Bhojraj, who's considered the god of spine in our side of the world. And it all went uphill from there.
Now that we are talking about the spine surgery, what do you think are the pros and cons of being a spine surgeon?
I think, Vajaya, you know that as a spine surgeon, you have you have to be intensely dedicated because the learning curve is extremely high. I mean, we are still learning. I mean, as a matter of principle, every year I try to do a new procedure which I've never done in my life before, and that's strange for a 51-year-old guy, isn't it? But you still do it. Most orthopods have plateaued and they're just doing what they're doing. Our surgeries are longer, and you got to give away the fact that your results are also going to be respectably mediocre. They are not going to be excellent. So when you fix a fracture, that's it, you're done. When you replace a joint, you're done. But a patient with a spinal pathology becomes a part of your family, and you have to figure out how to deal with them. And there's a whole lot out there that that has to be addressed, and that's where this whole lifestyle comes in. You have to start learning how to chill, and you have to start learning how to accept the fate of your patients, and you have to learn to be brave, and you have to learn to take risks, at the same time learn to be very somber and very humble.
And who's inspired you to become the spine surgeon throughout your training?
So, like I said, the mentor was Dr. Bhojraj, who's always been the number one guy. But I mean, he inspired many of us, and I'm just one of them. And he inspired us in me in the field of spine surgery, as well as my non-academic ventures. But asides of him, there are multiple people across the world, who've thrown in, and I've hero worshipped a lot of people. While getting here, there are still heroes in my life, and I love to meet them and have a face off.
So I believe you have done two fellowships in USA and UK, where you enjoyed the training most.
In India. I love my training most in India because I mean I had one thing very clear that training had to be done here because I had decided, because I don't know if two times or three times actually I had an opportunity to actually get a job outside and migrate, and I actually refused all the three times. So I had my mind set that I'm going to be a practicing surgeon in Bombay. Now that involves a very different playing field, and you need to be aware of those. You need to be a good practitioner in India rather than a good spine practitioner. So basically I trained in India, but for confidence and for exposure and to get to know the world, I did travel. But I can confess that none of my fellowships abroad were longer than 3 months. I was literally just hopping around and just getting a feel of how things are. And I went with my guides words: learn the technique, don't learn the indications, because they are not relevant to your country and your practice. It was fun outings, even UK in Nottingham, and even in Dartmouth in USA. All were fun outings. I was in Singapore for a while at the NUH just after my MS, but none of them really matched what I trained here. So I still proudly call myself a Spine Foundation Research Fellow.
That's
And
brilliant, sir.
on the same topic, how do you think spine surgery training is different in India as compared to the rest of the world?
Honestly, I don't have exposure to the training in the rest of the world. All I can say is that in India, the training is very varied. There is currently, unfortunately or fortunately, there's no baseline, and different centers train differently. There are different mentors who look at training differently. So there's some mentors who decide that unless you finish your fellowship, you're not going to get to work with your hands, and others, really push their fellows to do surgery and push them in the deep end, and we are there to work with them. So my own experience has been tons of experience and hands-on, and like I said, you get pushed into the deep end and you learn to figure, and your mentor's watching you and he makes sure that things don't go wrong. So in the end, there's lots of handiwork. Maybe what we suffer on is research, because of the sheer quantity of work. We are not so trained and adept at research, and even record keeping for that matter. And we have to make a special effort to become academicians. Otherwise, you'll come out as great surgeons, but you don't get into the field of academics.
So, sir, you've known for having multiple activities in life. Like even your background is adorned with beautiful instruments. So, being a musician, cyclist, and a sports person while being a spine surgeon, how do you maintain this work-life balance, and how important is it for a spine surgeon to have these other interests as well?
So, Tarini, I'll correct you. I'm an aspiring musician, an aspiring cyclist, and an aspiring athlete, and that's the way it should be. Because when you have multiple interests, you got to decide on one, and you want to be the number one in the world in that. And luckily for me, it's spine surgery. It's my ikigai. I mean, I love it, and people want me to do it, and I'm good at it, and I make money from it. So that's spine surgery. And while you do that, of course, you realize that you were not sent on this earth to be a spine surgeon, and you only have that many days of life, in this beautiful world. And there's so many things around you to explore. There's so many places to go to. There's so many talents and other skills to learn. And if it floats your boat, there's no reason why you should not explore it. So again, just like I do a new spine surgery every year, I take up a new skill set, whether it's right brain or left brain every year. I take up one new challenge every year. So, all the stuff that you see is all self learned, and I'm not at all good at it. But what I make sure is that I'm doing that stuff with some experts. So I'm like the last guy in the line that in the band. But so I'm always aspiring. I'm always looking up at them, and it's important because you need relaxation. You guys know, all three of you, that it is a stressful branch, spine surgery, and you can get sucked into your work. There are like tons of patients to be seen out there in Bombay. There are 20 million people and less than maybe 100 spine surgeons. So you can imagine how much work is there out there. So if you decide to just dedicate yourself into work, you're just going to cut yourself down. You need to be brave. You need to be humble. You need to have hand skills, and sports teaches you bravery. Mountaineering and running teaches you humility, and music and art teaches you hand skills, and to appreciate, to become an artist rather than a scientist alone. So I think these are essential skill sets. Just because I do them, I don't want to throw them at people. So do what works for you, but definitely do things outside your field, because you have only that many days to enjoy that. Yeah.
That's beautifully put, sir.
So talking about spine surgery as a career, so all of us have that one memorable case that has taught us a lot. So, could you share a bit about yours and what lessons?
It's hard to say, Namit, because every case, like this today we had two surgeries, and the second one was really hard, and we pulled it out, and I came back feeling really happy. I must have done, it was just a ACCF, and I must have done 200 or 400 of those. I don't even know how many, but yet this gave me a kick. So every case really gives you that kick. But if you had to point out, one, because you guys had given this questionnaire, and this was the only question that I had to think about. Others I was going to wing these answers, but this is the one. So I remember, when I was a junior consultant with my big boss as the senior consultant who ruled the roost with several other guys in the department. There was one lady with a massive thoracolumbar fracture dislocation, a very high profile lady, and she was nil neurologically. So no one wanted to touch her. It was like a fracture dislocation. You touch her and she's going to get neurology, and it was a hard case to do. But so all the top guys refused to. They said just lie in bed for 3 months, and then it'll heal by secondary intention or whatever. And then they approached me, and it was for me to decide whether I'm going to, because now it was clear that I was on my own, because the others had said that this is non-surgical, and she knew the risk. And we took it up, and we did a good job. And it's been like, I think 22 years now, because she keeps sending me every year. She sends me a birthday card. Birthday is the day that we did the operation. She says, I'm reborn. And I think that case is memorable, not because of the skill or the way we did it, but it just, you grow up from a boy to a man. You realize that, okay, you have it in you. You don't really have to tail the wagon. And it kind of gives you courage to take your own decisions. And of course, it gives you great positive feedback, because this kind of a positive, like a feeling of demigod, gives you a great high, and it gives you confidence to go ahead in your career. And especially when it happens early in your career, I think it's a great sentiment for you to then chase up this career that you had picked up with so many doubts and demons. This is one path breaking kind of moment, and I'm sure all of you all are going to have that in your career. And all I can say is that you got to take that first step. These opportunities will come along. You look at them as opportunities. Don't look at them fearfully, and take the leap of faith and take it up, and you'll be in a different world altogether.
Right.
That really uplifted our spirits, though. Thank you, sir. So, the next question. You are currently a faculty member of AO Spine, and is it important for a spine surgeon to be an academic, to be a part of an academic community like AO Spine, and in what ways does it influence our careers?
I think it's critical because I have a plethora of friends who are doing the same thing, and some of them are into private practice who got in early, started making the big bucks. We guys in the academic practice, in the group practice, so we had a slow rise. But at 50 or even at 40, I'm going to say, the variety of stuff that that you can do as an academician really gives you a very different work satisfaction, while the other guys are just doing their discs and lumbar stenosis and coming back home and counting money. There's really no flavor in the life. And of course, I'm saying this for myself, so I don't speak for people who are really not inclined towards academics. But what academics gives you is that you're always on the front foot, you're always on the forefront of what's going on. You get a chance to mentor, and I want to slip a few things out here and say that as a mentor you learn a lot. As a mentor, you hang with people like you who have a very different mindset. You're as Gen Z who think very differently on the same problem. And I love spending time with the junior bright minds who actually bring to the table a very different kind of outlook to the same problem. And there's lots to learn. They push you, and you want to keep doing stuff that elevates your entire skill sets, if you may. And of course, you get a name and fame if you care. So I think academics is very, very important. Now I want to quickly tell you about AO Spine. And I came into the AO Spine very early in my career. Once again, I became a AO Spine teaching faculty, I think in the first 5 years of my post MS, and that's really, really early. I got picked up because of my, as you can see, gift of gab, maybe. So once there, I think what AO Spine does, it has a, of course, all associations teach, all associations help you learn, all associations conduct meetings and are on the forefront of research. But what is native to AO Spine, that it is the only true global body, which means that AO Spine covers the entire world. So you have people of your interests and of your background from South America to Japan, and that literally covers the world. So the kind of networking opportunity, and networking is not a bad word. Networking is when you get to talk to people and meet them and greet them and find out how they tackle the same problem. And there's so much to learn by that. So I'm saying networking in a good way. No other society offers this. And as AO Spine faculty, we make an effort for everyone to network. So, I'm glad that here we have, two countries. And I hope in the next interview, we are going to have young stars from 5 other countries also on the same platform, because you're going to form your own little circuit, and that's going to grow you, and it's going to help you kind of exchange ideas. So I think that's what AO Spine does significantly well. And the other thing that it, of course, taught me was, that Tips for Trainers course, or their faculty training course, is a very, very special course, which completely gives you a different outlook at speaking and at teaching and taking lectures. Something you thought that you were good at, they break it down into a very deconstructed academic manner, and you become a much better speaker.
Talking about the academics, what do you think about research? How much it is important for spinal surgeons to get involved in research?
I'm going to say it's 50-50, though the standard line should be yes, you should do research. 100% you should do research. But I know, because I've now mentored, over I've lost count, but 50 odd, young, really good spine surgeons, and half of them are into research. They have that bend, and half of them do not. And those who do not, trying to get them to do research can be a real challenging task. And they may be good at speaking, they may be good at presentations, they may be good at surgery, they may be good at organization and uplifting the group, but they are not good at research. So those who are good at research, I think, are lucky, because they can then work towards publishing work which actually gets your unit, yourself, your team, your city, and your country on the map. Because in the end, what we all read is research. Like we from textbooks to to journals. So as students, we all know the people who have written articles, and if you were that person, it would really be a great thing. And hence I think research is important. But I'm going to be slightly cagey here and diplomatic here and say that if it's not your bend, then you help your colleague who's good at it, and do what you are good at.
So that's wonderful. Like you said, networking is really important, and that is what this AO Spine Youth Club is all about. So we are a group of young spine surgeons, aspiring spine surgeons from all over the country. So fortunately we three are here, and there are many other people, many other members who are interviewing simultaneously with other faculties as well. So coming back to your career, what is the achievement that you're most proud of?
Oh, I still have to get there, I think. I'm still not on the plinth of my career, and I think I'm still looking for that one achievement. I'm trying hard, but I must say I don't like. I would have loved to say that being the chairman of AOSPI in Asia Pacific is like a big thing, but it is a big thing. But I think there's lots more to be achieved, and I'd like to die like that. I'd like to die chasing, chasing a goal. Like if you achieve your goal, no, then it's all downhill from there. It's like once you get your lifetime achievement award, you're out.
To
So
keep that
yeah,
purpose going.
it's like a painter who has never done his best piece.
Yeah,
So
my
he
best is
keeps
my
on doing
next.
It should be your incentive to work harder and move forward.
the work. Right.
Right. So you already told us that how you jumped field and then you had to leave orthopedics. But is there any other specialty that appealed to you if not being a spine surgeon?
Actually, like I said, it was a series of coincidences. So I really don't know. But thinking back, maybe in the field of I don't think I could have been a good physician because it requires a completely different mindset. But as a surgeon, maybe an onco surgeon because I feel onco or onco ortho also are very close to the. You need the same personality bend and you need to be of the same, I would say you need courage and you need humility together and you need great skill sets also. So that would have appealed to me. And of course, non-medically, I'm everyone says that, but I would have loved to become a musician, like a professional musician, or I would have loved to become a cricket player. And I was of a cricket player. I mean, I played tennis, badminton. I was an athlete, but I was really faring well in cricket. But when after junior college, like I used to play with Sachin Tendulkar in the same club, and we had I had my name with him in the newspapers back then, but then you had to turn around and then become a regular guy. So I would have it would have like I would have it would have floated my boat. I would have been happy if I was a good musician, like or a sportsman. Yeah. And that's what draws me to treating sportsmen. So I treat a lot of sportsmen, professional sportsmen, and I identify with them because I know what their needs are. I know what they want, and that's what makes me love my job now.
Though I know we have already mentioned about the Lifetime Achievement Award, but if we have to turn the time back and one advice you will give yourself or you will do differently.
I think I've overdone. I mean, I've done much more than I expected out of myself, and that's what gives me immense satisfaction. So I don't really know if I would, if I had to live this life again, would there be something I would do differently? I don't think I could have done anything differently. And in fact, what my curve of achievements, if you may call it, that I'd predicted, I've really gone beyond that. So I hope that if I had to turn back the clock, I get those lucky breaks that I got in my career because with all the hard work and all the dedication, you still need a lot of luck. You still need a lot of good men by your side, a lot of good mentors. And like I said right at the top, you need to be at the right place at the right time. And then you make use of the opportunity. Now, these don't come again and again. So if I turn back the clock, I just hope that everything goes exactly the way it's gone for me.
And one advice you would give to a young spine surgeons.
I think it's coming out through this interview that you got to be humble. Number one, you got to have your feet on the ground because the harder you rise, the harder you fall, and that's can't be more true than any other specialty than spine surgery. And you got to be, brave. You got to have a very calm mind, but at the same time, you need to be super aggressive when it's needed. And in a nutshell, in the outpatients, you got to be a physician, and in the OT, you got to be a surgeon. If you can live that, dichotomy, then you will do the best at both. Because I know a lot of great surgeons who are really lousy in the outpatients, and you know, they're just chucking their patients around, and vice versa. People who spend a lot of time, doing lots with nothing, and are really slow and poor at their surgery. So I think you need to develop that dual personality to cover the entire ground. And of course, you need to right at the beginning diversify your interests and not just get sucked into your job because it'll take you out. You really need to parallelly keep invested in something that you like, one left brain activity, one right brain activity, If possible, latch on to academics, and at your first chance, start creating your little network groups, because they are what going to take you higher and higher, and they're going to make you your presence worldwide rather than in your own little narrow stream.
So that was very insightful and inspiring. So now we are at the end part of the interview. So let's engage in a quick game in which we ask you a question and you reply with a quick answer. So like a rapid fire. So your favorite hobby, one,
Guitar.
one favorite hobby. So your favorite book,
I don't read books. Damn, I really don't read books. I fall asleep. So none, zero.
so
I'm
favorite
say
sport.
Campbell. That's the only book I've read. Campbell's all.
So your yeah, we can take Campbell as well. So your favorite sport and team.
So cricket and India or Mumbai Indians.
Your favorite surgery in spine surgery. What do you like
I
to do
think
the most
head,
with
head and tails above is scoliosis, like spinal deformity in pediatric spine. I
so
could do all day. I could operate deformity.
and what about navigation or freehand? Which one do you lean towards?
100% freehand.
Free,
110% freehand.
open or MIS surgery?
100% open.
And what is that one word that defines spine surgery for you?
I'm going to say humility. I've said it over and over, but between courage, skill, and calmness, I still say humility is the word.
So,
It's like when
okay.
you're climbing a mountain, you cannot challenge the mountain. You have to, line up with the mountain, obey the commands, and the mountain will take you up. It's just like that.
Right. So this marks the end of the interview. We are very grateful for your time and thank you so much for giving us these many insights to your life and about the discussing about the spine surgery. So thank you so much, sir, and have a very good evening.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Zahra. Thank you, Tarini. Thank you, Namit. It was wonderful being with you, and I wish you all the success. And I hope you get many other people on board, because this kind of, these kind of interviews are going to go a long way in mentoring people across the world. Cheers. Thank you. Long
Thank you
live
so
you.
much.
Cheers.
Thank
Cheers.
you.